Welcome to Kentucky Brew Reviews. I'm Radar.
Special K, and tonight we're doing Southern Tier. Pumpkin Nitro. Pumking.
Pumking.
Nitro.
Get it right.
Imperial Pumpkin now. So we've done Pumking before.
This is
but this is their... Oh, I love the sound of Nitros when they open.
I like they have a widget. That's a good choice.
8.6% alcohol by volume. If you don't know what a Nitro is, Radar, explain what a Nitro is.
Nitro is just... It's beer that's been charged with nitrogen
instead of CO2.
Not
the color.
Really, that's
expecting it.
Yeah, that's not the color I was thinking it was going to be either.
Unfiltered cider.
That looks a little bit too much. Yeah, unfiltered cider. That's what that looks like. Yes, that's 100% what that looks like. Nice.
So when you pour a nitro, you have to let it surge for a minute. That means let the nitrogen do its thing, and then you can drink it.
Mm-hmm.
So Southern Tier makes really good beers. I picked this one up in Washington, D.C. area. I haven't seen it in Kentucky. I believe it comes in 4-packs. So when I bought this, the guy at the store, they were out of them, and they only had a 4-pack, and I was like, this guy in front of me is like, can you break that up? I'm like, if you break that up, I'll take one too. He's like, well, 2 people are getting one, I'll break one up because there's only 2 left. And he's like, all right. So he broke one up, we got one, and I was excited because I did not want to pay what they were charging for a 4-pack.
And just, like, transporting back to Kentucky had to be a pain in the butt.
It was because I was flying, so it was difficult to get beer back. But luckily, my wife had a friend that drove there, so I was like, can I put hundreds of dollars of alcohol in your car, and can you drive it 12 hours back home? And she's like,
just turn this person into a smuggler.
Yes.
I don't know if this is done surging or if it's just that color.
I learned that when I was in North Carolina is apparently illegal. So there's only so much alcohol you're allowed to have in your car. And apparently they don't allow you to take it across if you have so much. So when I went to buy stuff, bought a bunch of alcohol, and she said, how many you're buying? I have to see because there's a legal amount of alcohol you can buy because of smugglers. They smuggle it to dry counties. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. So she's like, okay, you're.
I was like, why?
Prohibition is over. You're 1.5 liters short. So have you bought any from any other stores? And I was like, no.
No, I haven't. What are you talking about?
Okay. I was like, that's kind of weird. All right, so it's surged. Head is nice and creamy.
That's super thick.
It still looks like unfiltered.
That's a thick-ass boy.
It still looks like unfiltered cider or almost like a bad orange juice.
That's real bad orange juice. That orange juice is like... That's supervillain orange juice.
Now, I'll be the first to say, most KBR members do not like pumpkin beers. This one smells pretty effing good. All right.
That does just smell like pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie is a little grainy. It smells like a beer and pumpkin pie. So you get a little bit of that allspice nutmeg in there, maybe a little coriander, and then you get like a little bit of malty butter.
Like that canned pumpkin smell.
This smells really good. I'll give it that. So let's do it.
It's so thick.
It's crazy. It tastes like a beer.
Mm-hmm. It tastes more like a beer than it tastes like pumpkin pie. I was really, from the smell, I was thinking it was mostly just going to taste like pumpkin pie.
This is the best pumpkin beer I've ever had.
I don't know if this is the best pumpkin beer.
Be real. It's the best pumpkin beer you ever had.
It could stand to taste more like pumpkin pie, if you ask me.
No. Has a little bit of a pumpkininess up front, so you get that pumpkin spice. But it's only a little bit up front, and then everything after that just tastes like a good beer.
It tastes like not a normal beer, actually.
Yeah, it's a nitro, so it's very malty and buttery on the back end. There's not hardly any hoppy presence. I would say if there's any IBUs on it was probably really low to non-existent. But it's not overpowering. And I think carbonation hurts pumpkin beers. I think nitro is where it's at. I think if you're going to do a pumpkin beer, I think nitro is the way to go.
That was a really good choice.
Right.
The creaminess of it really helps it along. I never had thought about that before, but yeah, I feel like definitely see this being like a turn for the better.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to do pumpkin beer, I feel like nitro is the only way you can do it right. Like, yeah, I just feel like carbonation, the pumpkin flavor doesn't work really well.
I think there's a little bit of tinniness on the very end.
A little bit. I mean, it did travel long distances.
That is true, yeah. But other than that, I think it's really pretty good. It's kind of like dirty grains as opposed to like some of the the brighter, fresher grains. It's like
that is nitro, so you're gonna get. You don't have the carbonation bite to block a lot of that stuff like you normally do. So you're getting. I feel like you get more of the body. Now a lot of people don't like nitros because it tastes flat. People are like it's flat. I'm like it's not flat. It tastes nitrogen.
It tastes big.
So we had a big. Well, I mean, it doesn't taste like 8.6%. I'd
No,
say
it
it
does
tastes
not.
like it's 6%.
No, I mean, it tastes, it's really, really thick.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So when we did the Bud Light or Budweiser Nitro, a lot of people were like, "It's flat." I'm like, "Have you not had a Nitro? What's a Nitro?" I'm like,
This is a Nitro.
Do you buy
right
things?
here.
Do you buy things without knowing what it is? It says.
I mean, I do.
Yeah, but if it says Nitro on the can, you should know that it's. What did you think it was like for Monday Night Nitro? Like it hasn't existed in 20 years. This is a WCW beer. We're good to go. If anybody gets that joke that's over 30, anybody under that probably won't understand.
I think this is pretty good. Apart from that little slight tinniness on the end, I really do think that's pretty good. It's not overly sweet. A lot of pumpkin beers are just like,
or too spicy, like too heavily spiced.
Yeah. Also with the lots and lots of pumpkin spice.
Nutmeg is something I feel like people get too generous with the nutmeg. It's one of the spices that...
Well, it's not really expensive. You can put a lot of nutmeg in something.
But it doesn't need a lot. Nutmeg is... You need a little bit of nutmeg, because a little bit of nutmeg goes a long way. You don't need,
4 whole nutmegs per glass.
Right, yeah, it's too much. So I'm going to give this beer an 8.
Okay.
I like it a lot. Taking a little bit off for price and availability, but it's a Nitro, so I'd expect to pay more for it. So it is it's not in a pint can, it's in a 13.8 ounce can.
Well, it's got to have a widget in there. That's going to take up volume.
I don't mind it because it is a slightly larger can. I think this is perfect to split between 2 people in these style glasses.
I would prefer them to have a widget in there to make it just a little bit more of a pop than not have one. Like the new bottles of Guinness, they don't have widgets. They say that there's like a coating on the inside that's
right. It's the same thing. That this
magical. I don't know. Anyways,
well, actually, what it is, you can see it. There's a little ring at the bottom.
Yeah,
that's glued.
They've started getting towards. There's like a little top hat looking thing down on the bottom of the can. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I think it's pretty good. I think I will give it a 7.5. If not for that like slight tinniness and the price, I think this would be higher, a bit higher. I think if you find a single of it, go ahead and buy it because it is a really good flavor.
I hope you guys enjoy our only pumpkin beer review for the year.
I am.
It's our annual. We do one a year. We do one a year. What happened was when we first started doing the show, we did like 40, and then we're like, no more pumpkin beer. And then so we do one pumpkin beer.
It's important to get all of the varieties, and this is our pumpkin beer for the year.
And we picked the correct one. I think
we did, yeah.
I think we could not have picked a better one.
I like that it's more pumpkin-y and less spicy.
For sure. Recommend it?
Yeah, as a single.
I recommend the whole 4-pack, as long as you can get it like under like $12 or $13 for 4-pack.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they're bigger cans, so I don't feel as bad, and they're higher ABV, so I don't feel as bad for paying $12 for it.
Their alcohol is pretty high.
They're nitros, which already cost more. They have a high ABV, and they're in a larger can, so it doesn't hurt me as much to pay $12 or $13 or $14.
Just make sure you have a cup that you can fit the entire thing in and pour it down.
For sure. All right, well, that's been our episode. If there's something you'd like to see on the channel, you can leave a comment down below. Don't forget to hit that like button. I'm Special K.
And I'm Radar.
Thanks
for watching.